Hey, this is our big adventure at the Discovery Center in Fort McMurray. We are going to discover stuff today. So we haven't even got in the center yet, and Stu's already discovering stuff. He's discovering how to use his new camera. Good on you, Stu. Ray's paying our admission for us.
No.
This is a big dinosaur thing that was discovered when they were digging for oil. Little bitumen shovel that you're supposed to scoop up to this thing and smell it. Does it smell like bitumen?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. What's it smell like?
Rubber.
Did you know that at this very moment, thousands of tons of oil sand are being mined by some of the biggest machines in the world? Forget the alternate method of obtaining bitumen by using an in situ process which separates the bitumen deep underground. Now, it can then be pumped to the surface where it can undergo the next transformation. Oil sand actually separates into bitumen because that is its first step on its way to becoming a marketable product. Next, bitumen is upgraded, transforming it into sweet synthetic crude oil.
2.5 metric tons of bitumen has to be mined and processed to yield 1.25 barrels of petroleum.
We are the biggest known oil reserve in the entire world. So according to the diagram, this is where the oil sand is. So you have to dig through this stuff, and this stuff to get to this whole deposit. The two methods used to find the oil sands are core sampling and seismic testing. Core sampling, they drill a big hole like that, bring out a core and sample it. For seismic testing, they hook up a bunch of these seismic sensors and they do some high-tech stuff to the ground to find it. Ray over here found a toy to play with, but it doesn't seem to be working.
I want my money back.
These are pictures of the huge trucks that they use to mine this stuff, carry it out to the plants to refine it. Way to the big truck.
This is where the toys are, man.
Ray's in heaven, they let him get into the cab and pretend to be a driver. Oh, this is cool, they even have sound effects. It's just like we're driving.
Well, this is a tire. No messing around. We build them big in Alberta. And this is what we mean by big.
Ray found another toy to play with, and this one makes loud sounds. It's heated bitumen. Kind of thick. Here is just bitumen. That doesn't move very well at all. Now this is diluted bitumen. It's been diluted with naphtha. Ooh, nice and loose, oily. Look, I found a toy. Check it out. Crank this way.
Okay, there's two of them.
Yeah, you can each have a toy. Oh, look at that. It's making stuff happen. I think Stu's winning.
Oh yeah, give me easy.
Yeah. Okay, Ray's catching up. Crank her, Ray. Crank. Give her, man. You can do it. Oh, look at that. It's flowing, baby.
Oh, this is exact.
Who says we don't work in the oil industry?
Okay, switch.
This would be why this is the thin oil, the one over here that Stu was using, and this is the thicker oil. That's why Ray was having a harder time.
Raise a girl, that's all.
So this next one is SAGD, Steam Assisted Gravity Drainage. Yeah.
From the generating down. What it does is it heats up the oil, and then as the oil becomes a liquid, it's dropping to a lower elevation, and it is sucked up and then refined.
This is an interesting fact. The Aboriginals originally used bitumen as sealant for their canoes. Here's some pictures of the old bitumen containers. Sure seal, coating. So the reason we upgrade bitumen is to turn it into crude oil. Ray over here is learning about distillation, but he's only now realizing that it's all about oil, not alcohol.
I was going to build a still, damn it.
This is delayed coke as opposed to the coke that arrives on time. The process is called thermo-coking. Down here it says that delayed coking takes bitumen and heavy oils and processes it into usable material. The synthetic crude oil is then turned into a number of different fuels, such as gasoline for a car, aviation fuel. Coke is burned to produce heat and electricity. Good question. How fast does synthetic crude oil or diluted bitumen move in a pipeline? Press that button there and I'll get the answer.
I'm not in a big hurry to get to refineries, so they amble along at about 5 kilometers an hour through the pipelines out of Fort McMurray.
There's some beaver lumber. I wonder if that beavers that worked at that dam on the way here made that.
Control our water, not make it worse than it is, because water is getting to be a very, very important thing now. Well, it's more important now than oil.
This here, scientists have found that recycling slash and deadfall from land clearing operations instead of burning it actually adds nutrients to the soil. Go figure. In 1778 to 1792, Alexander Mackenzie actually provided the first detailed description of the oil sands and the pools of surface bitumen he encountered. Sands were surveyed for the first time around 1942 to 1870. Who knew? Early 1900s, that's the first time drilling took place out here. Wow, in 1924 to 30, they were experimenting with the oil sands as paving material. Unfortunately, in 1941, the oil sands suffered a disastrous fire and another fire in 45, and the plant was closed. Okay, now we're on our way to the Industrial Equipment Garden. This is the place where they grow industrial equipment. Okay? Really? We're not allowed to climb on the equipment?
It's only a recommendation.
This is all wrong. Ooh, the boys come across their first big piece of equipment, and what do? Climb on it. Stu is recklessly driving it. I don't care if they told me that I'm not allowed to go on it. I'm going on it anyway. I'm on it. I'm all over it.
This machine here was used to maintain dikes.
This big piece of equipment here is an extraction pilot plant built for Syncrude back in 1971. This generator here generated 1,200 horsepower of drive to make the conveyor belts work.
17-cylinder, 860 horsepower diesel front-end loader.
We saved the biggest display till last. September 19th, 1992, the Cyrus bucket wheel excavator was officially unveiled. There it is right there. Stu, Ray, it says do not climb. Got that?
It's not in French, only one official language. Don't believe it.
Say goodbye to the big equipment, boys.
Bye, big equipment. We'll see ya on the site.